guys, it's Iris from universaliris.com, your favorite psychic millennial turned cosmic medium. And today's video is actually really exciting because I finally get to open up on how I became a cosmic medium by giving you the stories on how the extraterrestrials, the aliens, Pleiadians, contacted me. It was a series of events that happened that just began to unfold in my life, and all of a sudden I had contact. And the reality is that I had no idea that this was gonna happen. And Chloe, my dog, just fell. She wanted to jump and Chloe's too much. And the reality is that I had no idea that they were going to contact me. This was a complete surprise. I thought I was just going to be a regular psychic, a regular healer. I had no interest, to be honest with you. Like, I wasn't like researching aliens or anything like that. And all of a sudden they contacted me. And it was really awesome. I cannot wait to tell you this video series, I guess, because I think I'm gonna put it into two parts. It's something that I've had in my queue already for a while, and I finally got the green light, and it was so cool. Like, it was amazing. Like, today I was walking in the park and I met this girl who's also a psychic, and then we started talking about all these things, and I just knew that it was time to talk about it. She was like so excited. I was like, I know this happens, and your crown chakra opens up and then you see them, and it was like amazing. So anyways, guys, stay tuned, get your coffee, get your wine, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so the way that this started, as I mentioned before, this was a series of events that happened, and this is my Starseed awakening. What can I say about this? I think that at this point, I really don't care about judgment. I think the people that watch this channel already know what's up with me. Like, I am super out there, and I love it. I needed to own it more, and I think I finally stepped up last year, and I just began to own it so much more. And so by now, this is just all part of my experience. And I think what makes it really awesome is that I was not looking for this experience, which means that this can happen to anybody who is interested in having this experience and being psychic, or being or meeting light beings from other dimensions. So I'm going to tell the story as a series of events that took place, and each event was, I consider it to be an initiation. The initiation is really based on opening my mind to the experience, because as I mentioned before, I had like no idea that this was going to happen to me. And so yeah, here we go. So the first thing that happened was just getting me used to the idea that UFOs are near. And the way that this happened was that one day I was hanging out with some friends in Miami Beach. I was hanging out on the bay in Miami Beach, and I met this kid. And I was with a group of people, right? And there was this one kid that I met, this young man, must have been like no more than 24 years old. I'm 33. No, I was 33. I'm 34 now. So how symbolic it is that I woke up into psychic mediumship and into my Starseed awakening of, the extraterrestrials and the Pleiadians at the age of 33. 33 is an extremely important number. It's the master of all master numbers. So that already gives it away, right? Something around that round. And so I met this kid, and I don't remember his name, I'm sorry. But he seemed a little different, like he was just so sweet and so kind, and we started talking, and he was telling me, I was telling him that I am a psychic and a healer, and he was telling me how he had, you know, his own mystical experiences. And I was like, really? You know, I was like, okay, you gotta tell me, you know. And then he's like, well, you know, I once saw a UFO like right in front of my face, and the UFO just disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I told him my spiritual experiences of like, you know, seeing like things move by themselves, and whenever my higher self wants to get in contact with me, they move certain things, and that's how I know that my spiritual team wants to talk to me. So that's, you know, we were exchanging stories, and it felt like really awesome, and I could feel like he's like one of my peoples, you know. And then, you know, that was like around 5 p.m. I remember the sun was still out, and we were in the Bay Area where you can catch the sunset, and it's really pretty. Okay, so we were going with that. After a while, like I want to say around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., when it was already like nighttime, when it was dark already, and people we were just outside. All of a sudden, we saw these lights, and we saw UFO lights. Like,
what the hell? Oh my God, what is that? Dude, they're all leaving at the same exact point.
Everybody. So not just my group of people, but everybody that was outside that day. Everybody saw UFO lights. And the way that we know that it was UFO lights is because the pattern was completely different than any other pattern that you can ever see in an airplane or in a stealth, right? Because some people say, oh, it was a stealth. Like, no, it wasn't a stealth, okay? Sorry, like, get it through your head. Aliens exist, and they're everywhere. They are everywhere. Okay, so so these lights, the way that they looked is that they all like came together, and they were like, they formed like a pattern like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and they just all like came congruently together, and they just went up into the sky, and they said goodbye basically. And everybody was like, holy shit, did you see that? And people were like pointing up, and you know, oddly enough, somebody posted it on Instagram, because I actually got my phone and I tried to post it on Instagram, but my phone didn't have the potency, I guess. I don't know. But somebody was able to capture it on video, and they posted it on Instagram, and I actually have the video.
What the hell? Oh my God, what is that? Dude, they're all leaving at the same exact point.
I saved the video, so that was really cool, and I talked about it on Instagram, and somebody tagged me on the video. They're like, is this what you saw in the sky? And I was like, yes. So how coincidentally not that I met this kid that talked about UFOs. I'm telling him about my psychic experiences, and then all of a sudden we see UFOs in the sky. Right. So this is the way that that the ETs begin to make themselves known to you. I still had no idea what was going on. I thought I was just living my life, and I was just having another mystical and cool experience on the physical plane, I guess. And that's it. I just kept going with my life. Okay. Later on, I want to say like maybe a week later, I got the urge, and I got the sign. I got the signal from my higher self to take shrooms. And I had this urge to connect from within, and I have shrooms because at the time I had a client that gave me shrooms. For me, shrooms is something that is definitely not recreational at all. As a medium, as an intuitive, those things are very potent for me, so I don't take shrooms lightly. And but I had this urge that I needed to do it. And that is another initiation into opening my crown and opening myself to receive new experiences. So I was like, yeah, why the hell not? You know, like, let's create a situation where I can go and we can experience this. So I was like, okay, cool. So then the day came, and I knew where I wanted to take the shrooms already, because there was this really beautiful park by where my family lived in Miami, and it's just this beautiful park in Coral Gables, and I just love that park, and I just knew that I needed to go there because the trees and everything, the greenery there is just so beautiful and precious. So that day, I took what is maybe like a zero point 0.2 grams. You know, it's a pretty small, but like a semi-regular small dose. I was more experimenting on micro dosing, not a regular dosing. So I'm not very familiar with these things, guys. I just do what they tell me to do, and I just grab however I believe it's enough, like what I am intuitively told that is enough, and I do it. So I went ahead and did it, you know, and I knew I was gonna have a great experience, but I didn't know what was gonna happen. So then I had this experience where I connected with my higher self so much. And if you want to hear about it more, I definitely suggest you watch Deep Conversations episode 18, because episode 18 is where I describe how I was reaching higher levels of ecstasy and love, and that was basically my higher self just coming in and introducing me to her even more, and in preparing me to have a mystical experience. At that time, I still didn't know. At that time, I just thought that I was reaching just higher levels of love and ecstasy, as I mentioned. And so, yeah, I just went along with it. But little did I know is that they were also preparing me to receive the communication, the multidimensional communication from other civilizations and extraterrestrial beings. Okay. Notice I'm not really giving much information on that. You have to watch episode 18 if you want to know how it all happened. It was beautiful. It was amazing time. And then the experience was over. When the experience was over, I was filled with so much love, and I was filled with so much self-love, and not just self-love, but like love for everything and love for everyone. And I just became this more awakened, loving person, and I was just so happy. At that time, I went to a friend's house. This was all last year. I went to a friend's house, and my friend Kathy, and I told her, I was like, girl, we need to do this. We need to do this. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we have to take shrooms. We need to have this experience. And I just knew that I needed to tell her about this experience, and I knew that she needed to do this experience. I just had this urge, and I was like, Kathy, like, we have to take these shrooms. I have shrooms, like, we have to do it. We can get some more if you want to, like, get some more for yourself. But because I wanted to almost like introduce her to the beautiful things that I was seeing. And then I told her, I was like, I have something to show you. I'm like, I'm connecting with my higher self. It was the most amazing thing. Like, girl, like, we need to, we got to do this, you know. And she was like, okay, sure, you know, let's do it. And I was just like, oh my God, you know. So then I remember that Sunday, because I think I slept over her house, and I remember that Sunday we went to the beach, and we love to go to like Hollywood Beach, and we had shrooms, and I took the shrooms. We took the shrooms before we got in the car. we took the shrooms before we got in the car, and we began to drive. Mind you, the way that I timed it was, okay, so I'm gonna take the shrooms before I get into before I start driving. By the time I get to Hollywood Beach, which is it's 30 minutes away, it should begin to like have effect, and we're gonna have a great day in Hollywood Beach. And Hollywood Beach, I was very drawn to that area, very high vibrational area, so I just knew I needed to be there. And we began to have some delays. The whole point was not to shroom and drive, and we began to have some delays. She didn't want to drive, so I told her, you know, I'll drive, like, you always drive, let me drive your car. Like, I think she was tired or something, I don't know. The point is that we began to drive. And we began to experience some delays. And so, but it was okay. I was okay. I was feeling good. I was feeling happy, go lucky. Oh my God, you guys. She then began to play electronic music. And something about, oh yes, something about electronic music, and that's what began to activate me into my higher self even more from the last trip that I had at the park and yada yada, right? So she began to play her own electronic music, and she's like, look, I started hearing this, it sounds really good, and I'm like, yeah, play, you know. And I was driving, and I began to experience the effects of the shrooms little by little, and I'm just like, okay, no, everything's okay, and I'm, you know, and I'm driving, you know. And there was a song that she put, and I began to like feel even more and more. And there was this one song that she put that had to do with love. Oh my god, you guys, like that's when I began to go into a trance. And so she said like something, I honestly do not remember, but it was something about love, and I just remember like doing, like saying the last part of the song, and like saying like a phrase of love, and being like love, and like opening my mouth like that, and I can see all this like light, and it was like different colors of light, and I could feel from my crown like something coming in through my body and then out my mouth, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, let's ride. And it was not me anymore. Well, hold on, I can ask right now, like, it wasn't me, but was it my higher self? Or was it my Pleiadian self? Got it. Okay. So it was my Pleiadian self coming in, but at that time I didn't know what the Pleiadians were just yet. And I just knew that there was a being that took over my body, and all of a sudden I'm driving. We're driving, and it was just like amazing. I felt no fear, and she just didn't, like, she was just really cool. She didn't freak out or anything. I wasn't freaking out at all. Like, there was no fear. And even though I was in a trance in the car, here's the thing. All these moments are divinely orchestrated. Like, you don't know that they're contacting you, but they have already orchestrated every single moment. So I knew that as I was in the car in a trance, I knew that I was safe. There was absolutely no fear in my body, and I knew that I was gonna get well to my destination. So it just gets even more interesting after this, I promise you. Like, oh my god, it gets so interesting. So I reach the destination, and like we end up parking, and when I get out of the car, I was walking like an alien, you guys. So I knew that there was an embodiment of me, a trans embodiment of me, of an alien. And I began to like walk like walk, like my feet began to like walk like this. And I was standing up like really straight. And I just remember like looking around like that, like just like checking everything out. But it wasn't me. Like, I was hanging out in the back of my mind, and they were like in the front of my mind. Okay, so I was going in and out of trance, and then we go into the beach. Meanwhile, she begins to feel, like Kathy herself, like she begins to feel the shrooms, but definitely nowhere near the way I'm feeling the shrooms. Okay, so we go into the beach, and I could feel, like, it was so beautiful. I could feel the vibration of the sand. It was like the most beautiful thing. And then there was this one point that I lay down, and I just completely lay down at the beach. And all of a sudden, I close my eyes, and I can see that there's this intergalactic highway. I don't even know how to describe it. There's this intergalactic highway, and I could see my soul going out into it and then coming back. And as my soul goes out into this highway, I get all these amazing downloads of information about the government, about what's really going on in reality. Like I get like this, how do I say? Like, I saw all these politicians like like I saw a circle of politicians, and they're all laughing like, and they're all laughing because everything that is happening is all planned. You know, everything that's happening is all planned. And but what I realized is that yes, it's all planned. However, it's not necessarily planned for the bad. It's also planned for the good, because we're all elevating into Christ consciousness, which is fifth dimensional consciousness. So at the time, I just knew that it was all planned, and everything was all rigged, like everything. And we're playing a game, and it's the game of evolution. I just knew all of that from like a super intuitive level. It was insane. Okay, so we'll keep it at that. So then I like wake up and I'm just like, oh my God. And I can still see the intergalactic highway, but it begins to diminish. And then that's when I knew like I was it's almost like another being entered my body, and I was like trans-channeling another Pleiadian aspect. And this person, like this being, was talking like this, like that, like that, right? And then I knew that I wanted to expose that, and he knew we wanted to expose that. And so we both got the phone, like myself and the alien being self that I was trans-channeling. We both got the phone, and we went onto Instagram, and I started like, it wasn't really me, but I started posting all these things about waking up and about like how everything is fake. And I don't even remember, guys. I just know that all of a sudden my Instagram started like blowing up, and then I began, and then like, well, not me, but like the alien began to like trans-channel me. And if I can find the video, I'll post it right now. But hello, this is the new Earth people. Your live alien coming through. Yes. So this is why I've been learning how to trans-channel, so I can communicate through you guys, through this lovely, lovely body that Iris has done. She's done a good job, huh? So this is not really her talking right now. She's trans-channeling. Baby, the system has all been rigged to wake you guys up. He began to trans-channel, not me, but himself. And then he's like, and he was going like this, and he was just like moving like that. And it was so cool because I moved like that, you know, I personally moved like that. And I knew that I had a deeper connection, and it turns out to be an extraterrestrial connection to those things. And he was just going like, honey, don't you know? He's like, this is not Iris anymore. Hasn't she done a really good job, like with her body or something like that? This is Iris's body. Hasn't she done a really good job? And then he said something like, honey, this was all rigged to wake you guys up. You know, and it was just like the craziest thing. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And so I posted that on Instagram in my stories. And then what happened after that? And I realized, one of the things that I realized is that suffering is optional. Like suffering, like we suffer so much, but you don't have to suffer as much. I don't know how to explain it. You don't have to suffer. It's like these mental constructs. That's what it showed me. Yes, my dear. It's these mental constructs that it makes us suffer, like the conditioning. I call it the unlocking of the brain, or the locking of the brain. The things need to be like this, it needs to be like that, and like a square. And it's like when they gave me all these downloads, all of a sudden my mind went. Like it just really opened up, and I was able to like understand that I can naturally be happy now in this moment. This moment is already perfect. I am already loved, and everything is already perfect. So that was at the beach, and that was all happening within beach time, and I was just like a little fairy. I don't know, like a little alien fairy, just enjoying the water and enjoying the sand and trans channeling on my phone, and then it gets even more interesting. To me, this is the best part. All of a sudden I came back to myself, by the way, after doing the whole trans channeling thing on the phone and everything. It's almost like I came back to myself and I was like, and I was like, damn, oh my god, the fuck, this is amazing. So I came back to myself and I heard them, and I heard call Charlene, and I'm like, Charlene, call Charlene. Charlene is a friend of mine who I know is also another little alien starseed that is about to awaken, and I just knew that that's why they wanted me to call her, but that's not really why. There's more to that. So then I was like, oh my god, I gotta call Charlene before I go into trance again, you know. So I go and I call Charlene. I'm like beep beep, and I'm like beep, and Charlene is watching my stories. Coincidentally not, she's watching my stories on Instagram, and she picks up the phone and she's like, oh my god, girl, I'm watching Leo the stuff, oh my god, that's so cool. And I'm like, Charlene, it's me. I'm going in and out of trance, but I really have to tell you that you are also one of us. You're gonna wake up really soon. It's gonna happen for you. You will see. And I think it has already happened for Charlene. It's just in different ways, because the things that she tells me is like, whoa. So I was like, you're also one of us, and it's gonna happen for you. And she's like, oh my god, that's great. And then she starts talking to me, and she begins talking to me, and then I couldn't hear her. I couldn't hear the sound very well. The sound begins to like dampen. I don't know, like the sound begins to get really low, and I'm like, Charlene, and then, bro. And then all of a sudden, the sound, her voice begins to manipulate. Like it goes away, and then her like another voice comes up. And I was like, oh my god. And oddly enough, I understood everything that they were saying. What they were saying right now, I don't know. I was in trance, but somehow I understood what it was saying. And it was like, and then she came back, and then she's like, oh my god, you know, like, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then again it goes, and then she goes away again, and then it goes, I was like, what the fuck? They're on my phone. So I was just like at awe. I was at awe, you know. I was just like, wow, this is insane. And I knew, and I was like, Charlene, I came back, she came back, right? And I was like, Charlene, I love you, but let me talk to you later, because I'm going into trance and I'm not really understanding what you're saying right now. But I'll call you later, okay? I love you. And she's like, oh my god, okay, I love you too, bye. So she hangs up the phone. We hang up the phone, and I just have the best time. But I noticed that I don't want to go in the water. I'm having way too much fun in the sand. I'm having way too much fun like looking at people. All of a sudden, oh my god. So I'm still in trance, and it's my alien self, alien stuff. And I'm looking at people, and there was this one man that passes by, and it was literally like MI, you know, Men in Black, MIB. I can see how all of our body types are connected to the DNA from our alien self. Like the different body types that there are in this planet have everything to do with our alien DNA from other planets. And I can see how this one man that was walking by, I swear to God, he was an alien. And they're everywhere. That's the thing, they're like here. And some of them are like really real. Like some of them are like Men in Black, that they do transform, like they are shapeshifters. I'll ask in a second, because this man that walked by, he was just walking by. He had a really funky body type, really like skinny, but like just weird, like just a weird body type, skinny but with a little belly at the bottom. And he was walking like, you know, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm examining him, just watching him walk by, and he just gives me this like, you know, like that. And you know, I swear to God, he was an alien. Okay, so now at that time I was like, okay, I started got his name. Now I wanna like ask for real. Okay, you guys. Was he a human? Okay, so he was a human. Chloe. But I was seeing him as an alien though. So was I seeing this man with his own alien like DNA thing? Right, okay. Right. So yeah, so like now I'm able to see like people's like alien DNAs, like how I perceive them, what is beneath them, under them. And yeah, it was pretty amazing. And so I just kept having an amazing time, honestly. I just had such a good time. I wish I would have had more pictures of that day, but my higher self made me erase a lot of pictures and posts and things like that because it pissed people off. It pissed people off. Like some people like thought that I was going nuts because I was saying that suffering is optional, because I was saying that you don't have to, that we're all stuck in the matrix. And I literally that day, I can honestly say like I woke up from that matrix. And I mean it came in different forms, but I woke up from the matrix even more because I realized that there's all these mental constructs that keep us in a locked mind, and they unlocked me that day. And I just knew how to be happy. And so yeah, so then what else? So I just had an amazing time. I was looking at people's, alien DNA structures. We have 6 strands of DNA in our bodies that are physical, but we also have 6 strands that are non-physical. So we have 12 strands. And some of these strands need to be activated. And the more you come from a place of love, the more you heal yourself, the more you become curious into understanding how this all works, the more you go into what are called DNA activations, and you begin to own your spiritual and natural gifts. So, we are all going to be psychic mediums. We're all going to have that level of connection into something bigger than ourselves that is literally like talking to us on a physical level and on a spiritual level, I guess, on a non-physical level. So it's really awesome. And then what else? And then I just remember like wanting to sit very straight, and I really wanted to be with the sun. And I can tell that it was them embodying me because they were connecting with the sun. And I remember like it was really hot that day, you guys. It was like really hot. And I sat there, and Kathy wanted to go inside because it was really hot. Like it was really uncomfortable. But I was like, no, I need to sit in the sun. Like it wasn't even me. Like I was letting them use my body. And I was just enjoying every moment of it, and they were enjoying it, and they were so, I could tell that they were so happy, and they're like, we're so proud of you, we're so proud that this is happening, we're so proud that we have contact with you. And I just felt just very like loved and very just connected. And they were also so happy that they were using my body to be able to feel into humanity, because I remember them saying like, look at humanity, just look into humanity. They were, imagine like if you're traveling for the first time to a certain country, all you want to do is kind of sit down and look around and be like, wow, this is where I'm at right now, So yeah, and how did it end? The experience just ended with me realizing that the bad guy is not Trump, that even he himself is part of a master plan of awakening people. And he, from what I learned, it's like I learned that Trump had a spiritual awakening where he is understanding a lot of the things that are happening. And yes, I think he was somewhat involved in negativity in his past. I don't, honestly guys, I don't really get too involved in this, but he's not the only one, or I'm not the only one that says that he had a spiritual awakening. There's other Christians that are having the same visions that say that he had a spiritual awakening and now he wants to do more good for the world. So, and I saw that in the visions and the downloads that I got that day. So these are my two, well, I guess these are the first series of events where I was contacted by them. By the end of the night, I was still having visions. I was actually talking to Kathy's cat most of the night, and he was so happy. He didn't like me at first, and then all of a sudden he just like loved me because he knew that I was open enough to receive his information. So I was talking to the cat, and then I asked, before I went to sleep, I asked them like where are they from and where am I from and all this stuff. And then they told me the last bit of information was just towards the end of the night. They told me, you are from the sun. And I was like, oh, it's amazing, I'm from the sun. Oh my god, that's so cool. So, and little did I know that there was a bunch of more information to come, but obviously they can only give you so much information that you're able to handle at that time. And to be honest with you, by the time I was done, I was really tired, like really tired. I felt like I didn't sleep all night. I was just getting visions after visions after visions after visions, and I was like, oh my god, can you guys stop it already? Like, I just want to go to bed. So this is the first half of my alien series, and I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the second half. The second half is actually really cool, and the second half is whoa. The second half, that's all I have to say, is whoa. And thanks for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you are really enjoying this. And for anybody, I'm finishing at 33 minutes. I love it. Thank you guys, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check out my other videos on self-development, self-love. This is all information that I get on a spiritual, non-physical level that helps you get so much deeper to unlock your minds and become a happier and healthier creator you, because we're all creators. I love you all, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.